And let's start today. Let's start lying on our backs on the floor. Don't know where else you'd lie, but let's try that. If you have bricks and belts and things, keep them within arm's reach of your mat. And there might be opportunities to use them somewhere along the way, certainly in twists and shavasana at the end, if not before. I'm just going to put the clock here so I can see it. Okay. So maybe keeping the knees bent to start with. Oh, I always get a yawn when I lie down. And keeping the knees bent to start with, soles of the feet on the ground. Closing the eyes. And we'll start straight away to draw a nice deep breath into the belly. We really want to try and fill the lungs with oxygen. So maybe placing your hands on your belly. And as you breathe in, notice the way your body moves underneath your hands. You can also see how it feels to draw the breath into the sides of your ribs, so you can place your hands maybe on the side of your rib cage. Breathing nice and deeply, pressing the ribs into the hands. So maybe have a little experiment. Find that nice deep breath. Find that steady pace with your breath. And starting to notice different qualities and sensations that you associate with your breath as you become more settled and more familiar with it. Start with a very gentle twist, keeping the breath going, letting the breath lead the movement. So if your feet are on the floor, shuffle them a little bit wider than the hips, maybe as far apart as the mat. And take the knees apart for a moment so you can get the soles of the feet flat down on the ground. On an exhale, we're going to drop the knees over to the right. And then inhale to bring them back up to center. So you're going to keep them flowing. Next exhale takes them down to the left. Inhale to left. Lovely. So just keeping this nice steady movement from side to side. And trying to keep control of the legs the whole way through the movement. So it can be tempting as they get over to one side to just let them drop. See if you can keep them under control for this bit. Using the whole length of your breath to complete each individual movement. Lovely. Next time your knees drop to the right, you can let them go. Let them hang out wherever they want to hang. See if you can keep the shoulders down, but let the hips roll over as far as they want to. There is a little stretch in the front of the left hip. If you want to explore that a little bit further, then you can see how it feels to reach the arms overhead along the ground, maybe holding opposite elbows or just keeping the arms out straight. Taking one more breath here. So your next inhale will lift your knees up to the ceiling. Your next exhale will drop the knees to the left. Again, letting them hang, letting them be heavy, resting here, breathing nice and steady. Again, deciding what you want to do with your arms, whether they want to rest alongside you or reach overhead to find that deeper stretch. Taking one more breath on this side. Then we'll bring the knees as you inhale back to the ceiling and straighten out the legs down the mat and reach the arms up overhead. If you can, keep them straight, brilliant. If not, then you're holding elbows, just switch your grip, but lying nice and straight down the middle of the mat like a pencil. Keeping or finding that steady breath if it's gone for a wander. Noticing which parts of your back and your body are touching the ground beneath you. And when you're ready, you're going to try and keep as many of those points of contact touching the earth. But you're going to shuffle your feet over towards the right. Maybe they come off the mat, maybe they don't quite make it off. Trying to place them back down so the same parts of the backs of your legs touch the earth. And then shuffling the hands, maybe the shoulders over to the right, so you look a little bit like a banana. You can catch a hold of the left wrist with the right hand, pull on that a little bit if that feels good. Taking nice deep breaths into the sides of the body, into the ribs. Nice big stretch up the left side of the body. Making this your last breath here. On your next inhale, bringing yourself back to the center of your mat. Just lying straight down the middle again, taking a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, shuffling the feet over to the left. Shoulders follow, hands follow. Maybe catching the right wrist with the left hand this time, pulling gently on the arm. Last breath on this side. And gently bringing yourself back to the center. Bringing the knees into the chest and giving yourself a little bit of a hug. Maybe holding the knees, pressing the lower part of the back into the mat, rocking from side to side. Feel like a little bit of a massage, which is nice when we're not allowed to go and have them. From here, we're going to interlace the fingers around the right shin, let the left foot touch back down to the ground. So keeping the back flat on the earth. On an exhale, you're going to draw your knee in towards the middle of your chest. And then as you inhale, release the knee. With the exhale, it's going to draw the knee into the center of the body. Inhale, let it soften away. Okay, 3 more. Maybe for the last couple, you want to try it with the left leg along the ground. See how that changes the sensations you feel and the way the movement works in your body. Bringing the left foot back to the ground. We're going to switch the grip so that the hands are at the back of the right thigh. You're going to press your thigh into your hands and try to straighten your leg. So you might find you need to bring your hands further down the leg towards the hips in order to find that straightness through the leg. Ideally, you want your shoulders and your head down on the ground relaxed. If they can't make it all the way back down, then pop a cushion or something underneath them so that you can at least relax them. So pressing the leg into the hands and pressing the heel up to the sky, drawing the toes back towards your face. On an exhale, we're going to point the toe. Inhale, flex the foot again. Nice strong shapes. Exhale to point the toe. Inhale to flex. Keeping that going. Nice straight right leg. Okay, you might want to see how it feels to slide the left foot away again. Make it a little bit harder. Just explore how that feels. Last couple of moves. And bringing both knees into the chest again. Little wiggle through the hips. Loosening up a little bit. And then we'll switch. So right foot down to the ground. Hands around the shin. On an exhale, drawing the left knee in towards the middle of your chest. Inhale to let it soften. Again, exhale, drawing the knee in. Inhale, letting it release. 3 more. Two more. Last one. And we're going to switch the grip. So hand comes behind the left thigh again. Straightening the leg, pressing the thigh into the hands, finding the spot for your hands that allows you to keep that leg nice and straight. Pressing out through the heel, drawing the toes back towards the face. It doesn't matter sort of what angle the leg is at. It's the straightness that we're looking to find. So on an exhale, pointing the toe. And inhale to draw the toes back towards the face as you press through the heel. Lovely. Exhale to point. Inhale to flex. Keep pressing the thigh into the hands as you point. Inhale to flex. Again, if you want to explore extending the right leg along the ground this time, maybe see how that feels. Keep pointing and flexing the foot, moving with the breath. Last ones. Okay. We're going to draw both knees into the chest. You're going to rock and roll up and down the spine. So from your bottom up to your shoulders. Do 3 or 4 of these. If it feels particularly nice, you're welcome to do a couple extra. And then we're going to come up to seated and find a cross-legged position. So if you have cushions or bricks, they might come in handy now. So we're going to sit up on them a little bit, just to give ourselves a little bit more space at the front of the hips. So sitting on something, if you have it, it doesn't matter if you have, might help you get your hips a little bit higher than your knees. Completely depends on the shape of your hips themselves. And trying to get a loose cross with the ankles. Nothing too tight. So sitting up nice and tall. Move the arms first. Breathing nice and steady. So we're going to inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, up overhead, palms touch. Exhale to take the hands back down to the heart. Same again, inhale, big sweep of the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. 3 more. Inhaling up. Exhaling to bring the hands down. 2 more. And the last one. Next inhale is going to sweep the arms up one more time. But on the exhale, we're going to twist to the right. Maybe taking the front hand to the knee. Back hand, it's either going to come to the lower back or it's going to reach behind, trying to find the inside of the left hip. Trying to sit up nice and tall. Maybe gazing over that back shoulder. Making sure you can keep that nice full breath in your twist. So if it feels a bit small, a bit sticky, then maybe release the twist or change the position of the arms so you can sit taller. Just notice how these little things change your ability to breathe. Last breath here. Your next inhale is going to sweep your arms back overhead as you face front. Exhale is going to take the twist to the other side. Last breath here. On an inhale, sweeping the arms overhead as you face front. And this time we're going to fold forward. So reaching the fingertips as far away from you as you can to keep the body nice and long. It doesn't matter how far down you come. There's a lot going on in the hips here, so it might not be all that far at all. Trying to stay away from any really strong sensations, so ease out if that helps.
making sure you can still find that nice full breath.
Making this breath your last. Your next inhale will bring you back up to sit nice and tall. And we're going to cross the ankles the opposite way. On another inhale, sweeping the arms up high. Exhale, reaching forward as you fold, keeping that nice long body. Nice steady breaths. One more breath. Inhale's going to bring you back up nice and tall. I'm going to bring the fingertips to the knees. We're going to do a seated cat-cow. So starting from a nice tall seated position. On an inhale, you're almost going to lean the chest forward and up towards the sky. So you're tilting the pelvis like you would in a normal cow. And then as you exhale, arching the back, rounding it, tucking the tailbone, making yourself as small as you can. Inhale to roll forward, belly comes forward, chest lifts to the sky. Exhaling, rounding the back, keeping that going. Inhaling as you lift the chest. Exhaling as you tuck it in a little bit. Next pair, your last. Ending in your cat with the back rounded, head down. And then inhaling to sit up nice and tall. Taking a couple of breaths here, maybe closing the eyes. Using this time to run a little body scan. So tension starts at the top of the head, working your attention, your focus down through the body, through the front and back, all the way out to your fingers and toes. And noticing how bits feel and if they need a little wriggle, a little move. And feel free to take those movements. When you're ready from here, we're going to come onto all fours to our tabletop position. So moving nice and slowly so you can keep that breath, keep that rhythm. Finding a nice strong spot. We'll do a little bit of wrist warm up first. So finding your tabletop, and then we're gently going to press down through your fingertips. So they might turn a little bit white as you do that, and pressing down through the knuckles as well at the base of the fingers, taking some of the work out of the wrists. And then you're going to move your shoulders above your wrists to create a circle.
Keep pressing through the fingertips. Moving nice and slow. Lovely. So last one in this direction. And then we're going to switch back the other way. One more. And then turning the fingertips away from each other. Again, pressing through the fingertips and knuckles, this time rocking from side to side. Noticing where the edge is for you, as in noticing where you start to feel strong sensations, and trying not to lean into them too quickly. Pressing through the fingertips. Okay, we're going to do 2 more little bits for our wrists. So just sitting back on your heels for a moment, you're going to make 2 fists. Oh, my ankle popped. You're going to press the flat bit of your fists firmly into each other. You're going to keep pressing them like they're glued together. And then the backs of your hands and the arms are going to come down to the ground. You're going to press down into the ground through your hands and start to lift the elbows away. So the hands are pressing into each other. They're pressing down into the ground. Elbows are lifting up. So again, noticing where the strong sensations are and then coming away from them a little bit. Keeping that breath. One more breath. Keep pressing the fists together. Then on an inhale, we're going to bring ourselves back up to kneeling. We can get a 2 for 1 here. If you want to stretch out the soles of your feet a little bit, you can tuck your toes and sit back on your feet. You only need to stay there as long as you can cope with it. We're going to flip our fingers. So using the thumb to grip your fingers. So the thumbs need to wrap around your fingers, and then the fingers are trying to escape each time, as though there's something really disgusting on them. So just starting nice and easy, but really deliberate, active flick. And then we're going to make it faster and faster. So the elbows are staying still. It's only the fingers that are moving. Getting them going as fast as you can. Resisting that movement with the fingers, with the thumb. Faster. 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 Keep going. Nearly there. Lovely. Give them a nice big shake. The stronger they are, the happier they'll be about all this business on all fours and in down dogs. So give them a little bit of a workout. Lovely. Back to your all fours. Back to spreading the fingers wide, pressing down. Just finding a nice solid spot, really. And a nice flat back. So making sure that you're not just kind of hanging out, pressing the ground away a little bit. Long through the neck. Okay, from here, you're going to keep the right angle in the knee as we inhale to float the right knee up to hip height. Exhale, hovers the knee back down onto the ground. So finding the flex in the foot as well. So inhaling, lifting that right heel again as though it's pressing into the ceiling. Exhale to hover in. If you want to pop something on your lower back as you do this, just to try and make you more aware of keeping your hips level. Sometimes they go for a little wander. Do 2 more raises. Letting the knee come down for a moment. I'm just going to turn, try not to drop my brick. So this time, on an inhale, you're going to bring the right knee out to the side, keeping the knee bent, foot flexed, and then exhale to drop the knee back down to where it came from. So inhale takes it out to the side, exhale brings it down. So again, if you can pop a brick or something on your lower back as you do this, keeping it going, just to make sure the hips aren't twisting. So the knee isn't going to come up necessarily very high at all unless you have very, very open hips, as in bone-wise, not muscle-wise. Lovely. Last one. Bringing the knee down, finding your way to child's pose for a few breaths, any version, whatever feels good in your body. Last breath down here. And we're going to come back up and have a little go on the left. So again, if you want to pop something, balance something on your hips, just to see what they're up to, feel free. Find your nice strong tabletop. Press down through your fingers. On your next inhale, floating that left foot up, knee stays bent, foot presses to the sky. Exhale, hovers the knee off the ground. Keeping that going, so the inhale lifts up and the exhale comes down. Lovely. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hover. Last one. Then this time the inhale brings the knee out to the side, keeping the hips flat. Exhale, hover. Inhale to take the knee out. Exhale, hover. Lovely, keeping that going. So if we keep the hips still, then we're working some of the supporting muscles, which help with balancing and running and things like that. If the hips are rolling, then they're doing a little less work. Making this one your last one. Keeping the arms straight in your tabletop. And then exhaling, finding your way back to a child's pose. From here, we're going to come back to tabletop, but not for very long, I promise. I want you to imagine that next to each of your hips is a bollard of some sort, and it's about hip height as well. So from here, on an inhale, you're going to lift your right knee up and over that imaginary back bollard. So the right foot comes down outside the right hand, and then inhale to lift yourself up to a lunge. So pressing through both feet and almost squeezing the thighs together a little bit. Feels like a bit of a strange one. Just to find that stability underneath you. The more you press down, the stronger you'll be to lift up. So next inhale is going to sweep the arms overhead, catching the left wrist in the right hand, so the opposite one to your knee that's forward, reaching up towards the sky. So there's some options here. It might be that you're here and you're feeling enough stretch through the left side of the body, that's fine, you want to hang out. If you want to work on, explore a slightly stronger stretch on that front hip, then you can play with tucking the tailbone underneath you and drawing the front of the ribs down towards the pelvis. If you've done that or not, with both options, you can then see about adding a little lean over to the right in. Trying to keep the hips stable again to access those muscles around here that spend all day contracted, not doing an awful lot. Assuming you're sitting at a desk all day, obviously, not everyone is. Nice big breath. One more breath. An inhale is going to lift us up nice and tall. On an exhale, we're going to take the hands to the hips. We're going to straighten that front leg, flexing through the foot. And maybe bringing the foot a little bit more in front of you, sort of in front of the hip. Lifting up nice and tall, we're going to do a half split. So on an exhale, you're going to keep the front of the body long as you hinge at the hips, coming as far forward as you feel comfortable to. If you have bricks on the tallest setting, either side of your leg is a nice place to be, and then you can bring your hands off your hips onto your blocks, gives you a little bit more support. Keep pressing out through the heel and drawing the toes up towards your face. Nice steady breath. If you want to explore taking the stretch a little deeper, then you can bring your chest lower down. So if you're on blocks, you can take them to a lower setting. If you've got your hands on your hips, you can just fold forward a little bit. But see if you can still keep the front of the body nice and long. One more breath. On an inhale, we're going to bring the chest back up nice and tall. Bring the right foot back to the ground. On an exhale, hands are going to come down inside that right foot. And an exhale is going to take the right knee over that imaginary bollard again, back to tabletop. Have a little wriggle if you need a little wriggle. Maybe rolling the wrists, whatever you feel you need. And then we'll have a go with the left. So starting from your tabletop, inhaling to step that left foot up and over your imaginary thing. And then inhale to find your nice wide lunge. The next inhale is going to bring your arms up overhead, catch the right wrist this time, pulling up to the sky nice and long through that right side of the body. So again, options, you can stay here, you can take the lean, or you can tuck the tailbone, draw the front of the ribs forward, hold there, or you can add the lean onto that as well. You can take a breath in each one, see how they feel. Nice and steady. Last breath. The inhale will lift us up. Exhale takes hands to hip. That front leg's going to go nice and straight again, pressing out through the heel, drawing the toes up towards the face. So squaring the hips forward, give yourself a little bit more of a chance. And then exhale, hinging at the hips, coming forward, finding that stretch again. If the back of the leg is feeling quite a lot, then it's better to lift back up a bit rather than start to play around with other things. It's easier for your balance too. If you want to use the bricks again, nice tall setting to start with, lifting through the front of the chest, breathing nice and steady. after a couple of breaths, you might feel like there's a little bit more space for you to explore. So feel free to see what's there or not there. Have a little go. Last breath. And the inhale is going to bring us back up nice and tall. This time, we're just going to bring the left knee underneath us. Lovely. So you might want to turn sideways on your mat. If you've got enough space to stick a leg out to the side, then you're probably fine where you are. Just have a think about your space. So I'm going to do a little inner thigh stretch that we've done before. So we'll do the right leg first. So taking the leg out, we're going to flex the foot again. It's all about flexing the foot today. Toes twisting up towards the sky, and then we're going to bring the hands down so we come back towards a tabletop position. So you might find the stretch appears as soon as you come down. If it's too much, again, you can use bricks, maybe cushions or something to lift the chest a little higher, if that helps. If you're not feeling much, then you can come back down a bit lower, maybe sit the bum back towards the heels. Just have a little explore, see how things feel, and find your spot. Nice, steady breaths. On an exhale, you're going to bring the right knee back underneath you, and then inhale is going to bring you back up to kneeling. Take the left leg out, flexing through the foot, twisting those toes up towards the sky. Exhale to take the hands down. Again, taking a moment to find out how this feels in your left hip. It might be a little bit different to your right. So take the time, notice where you need to be. Breathing steady. Keep twisting that foot up towards the sky. Taking one more breath. This time, I'm going to bring the left knee back underneath you, and then find your way back to a child's pose. Again, any version. Might be that a different version feels good this time. Have a little play, find out, and then focus back in on your breath. From here, you're going to bring yourself back up to kneeling. I thought we'd do a little breathing work today before we come to Shavasana. So that you can concentrate on your breathing, find somewhere comfortable to sit. So if you want to kneel, kneel. If you want to prop your bum up, I think that's what I'm going to do. Then do that. Come a bit closer so you can see my face a bit better. But just find somewhere comfortable to sit. Somewhere where you can sit still quite tall without that being too much effort. So there's lots of space for your lungs, for your breath. Okay. So I thought we'd have a little play with alternate nostril breathing, or Nadi Shodhana. Give me a thumbs up if you've done it before. Okay, half and half, cool. Right, so if you've done it before, then you might have done it with breath holds, but I'm going to skip breath holds today. We're just going to use it as a focusing technique. So different teachers teach different finger combinations. So we're going to focus, as it's our first time, on just finding something that we can do and that feels comfortable. So I want you to just take a moment to try your ring finger and your thumb and see how it feels, and just find the bottom of the bridge of your nose where it's kind of a little bit softer, but not on your nostrils. Just find the bottom of the bridge of your nose. Okay, so the idea with alternate nostril breathing is that you're focusing your breath through one nostril, and we're going to use our fingers to help us do that. The idea isn't to shut off an entire nostril each time, because we don't want you to actually stop breathing or have trouble breathing in any kind of way. It's more about focus of the energy through those two different channels. So that's why we want to find that bottom of that hard part, so that you know you can put a little bit of pressure as we switch sides without shutting the nostril. Okay, does that make sense? Lovely. So finding that spot, resting those tips of your two fingers there. We've still got that nice steady breath. So we're going to apply a little bit of light pressure on the left side, just to sort of close it off and draw our attention to that open right side. So when you inhale, you're going to focus on breathing in through the right side. Then you're going to switch the fingers and exhale, focusing on the left. Inhale will come in through the left, switching the fingers, exhaling right. Inhaling right, switch, exhale left. Inhale left, switch, exhale right. Inhale right, switch, exhale left. Inhale left, switch, exhale right. Inhale right, switch, exhale left. Inhale left, switch, exhale right. Inhale right, switch, exhale left. Inhale left, switch, exhale right. Inhale right, switch, exhale left. Inhale left, switch, exhale right. Inhale right, switch, exhale left. Inhale left, switch, exhale right. So keep it going using your own count. Making this one your final grouping. Finishing with an exhale on the right. When you're done, releasing your hand down to your lap, keeping your steady inhale and exhale going. moving ever so slowly, nice and gently, keeping the eyes closed if you've closed them. Making your way onto your back. Maybe bringing your knees into your chest. Having a little rock from side to side if that feels nice. Giving yourself a nice little hug. And then finding your way to your Shavasana. If you need a prop or a blanket or any other bits and pieces, please grab those. Taking 3 breaths to relax further. Big breath in through the nose, deep into the belly. Sighing out of the mouth. Same again. Letting your breath settle back to its natural rhythm. Letting your body feel heavy and soft. Letting your focus and attention start to drift away from your body. Allowing yourself to rest, to be still. Starting to bring your attention back into the room, back into your body. Taking a moment to run another little body scan. Checking in, seeing how things feel. Noticing which parts of you feel the urge to move. Allowing them to do so. So starting small with your movements. Allowing them to grow as you gently wake the body back up. If you want to take a stretch, feel free to take a stretch. When you're ready, bring your knees into your chest, roll over to your left side, keeping the body soft as you rest here for a few breaths. Eyes remaining closed. And then using your hands to push yourself up to find a seated position. Taking any last little wriggles that you need, whatever they might be. Bringing yourself to some stillness. Hands might rest on your legs, over your heart, or in prayer. Taking a moment to thank each other for sharing this practice together, coming together. Taking a moment to thank yourself for making time for yourself, for your practice. I'm going to end by bringing the hands to prayer at the heart. Bringing the prayer up to the space between the eyebrows as a little reminder to think kind thoughts. Taking the prayer to the lips to remind us to speak kind words. And back to the heart for kind actions. And then when you're ready, taking a little bow forward to seal the practice and bring it to an end.